Don't do this," the voice in Aaron Hale's head whispered as he stepped onto the school bus that morning, clutching his lunch bag like it was a fragile promise that might shatter if he squeezed too hard, because something in the air already felt wrong, thick and electric, the way it does right before a storm breaks, and the Valley Ridge High annual spring picnic was supposed to be the one day everyone relaxed, laughed, forgot the labels and lockers and hallways and cruelty that lived between the bells. But Aaron had learned long ago that when something is supposed to be peaceful, that's usually when the worst people decide to test how far they can go. The bus smelled like cheap cologne, chips, and unspoken tension, and the bullies were already there. Tyler Kane sprawled across two seats like he owned the aisle, his friends laughing too loud at nothing, eyes sharp and searching, hunting for a target the way sharks sense blood. And when Tyler's gaze landed on Aaron, a slow smile crept across his face, the kind that made your stomach sink because it meant he'd already decided something awful was going to happen. Aaron tried to look away, sliding into an empty seat near the back, staring out the window as the school faded into rolling green fields, picnic tables visible in the distance, teachers' cars lined neatly like order trying to hold chaos back, and he told himself maybe today would be different, maybe the laughter would be real, maybe the bullies would be too busy showing off to care about him, but deep down he knew better, because people like Tyler never wasted an opportunity when they had an audience. The picnic grounds buzzed with music and chatter as students poured off the buses, blankets spread across the grass, grills already smoking, teachers smiling with forced optimism, and Aaron spotted his friend Maya waving him over, her smile bright and genuine, the kind that made him feel safe for a moment, and as he walked toward her, he almost believed the day might pass without incident, until he heard it, the sharp crack of laughter behind him, Tyler's voice cutting through the noise like a blade, loud enough for everyone to hear, calling out Aaron's name, stretching it into a mockery, and the crowd instinctively leaned in, because cruelty has a way of pulling attention like gravity. Tyler strutted forward, holding up a small paper bag, and Aaron's heart began to race as recognition hit him, because that bag looked exactly like his, the one his mother had packed with so much care that morning, the one thing that made school days bearable, and Tyler shook it theatrically, asking if Aaron had lost something, his friends snickering, phones already out, recording, because humiliation wasn't complete unless it was preserved and shared. Aaron felt heat rush to his face as he reached out, but Tyler pulled the bag back, opening it and peering inside with exaggerated disgust, announcing to the crowd what was in it, twisting ordinary food into something shameful, and people laughed, not everyone, but enough that it felt like the ground itself was laughing at him, and that was when Tyler did it, the thing that made the teachers freeze and the students gasp, because Tyler didn't just throw the food away, he dumped it onto the grass. Then ground his shoe into it slowly, deliberately, like he was making a point that went far beyond lunch. Don't do this, Aaron thought again, but this time it wasn't just fear, it was something else, something heavy and dangerous, because the picnic wasn't just about fun anymore, it had become a stage, and Tyler was determined to perform. Maya shouted for him to stop, a few students murmured uneasily, but Tyler turned, scanning the crowd, feeding off the attention, and then his eyes landed on someone else. Eli Park, the quiet kid who volunteered at the library, who brought homemade food to every event, who never bothered anyone, and Tyler's smile widened, because cruelty always escalates when it's not challenged. He grabbed Eli's picnic basket, ignoring Eli's panicked protests, and lifted it high, asking the crowd if they wanted to see what weird kids eat, and before anyone could stop him, he tipped it over, spilling everything onto the ground, stepping back as his friends joined in, stomping, laughing, filming, turning food and kindness into a spectacle of destruction. Teachers rushed forward too late, shouting names, but the damage was already done, not just to the food, but to something deeper, something that snapped silently inside the crowd, because this wasn't just bullying anymore, it was disrespect, cruelty laid bare in front of everyone, and the murmurs grew louder, anger spreading like wildfire, students looking at each other, then at Tyler, something changing in their expressions. Aaron felt it too, that shift, the moment when fear starts to crack and something stronger pushes through, and as Tyler took a mocking bow, soaking in the attention, he didn't notice that the laughter had stopped, replaced by a low, collective hum of outrage, because the whole school was watching now, not with amusement, but with rage simmering just beneath the surface. A teacher finally grabbed Tyler's arm, dragging him back, shouting about consequences, but Tyler only laughed, calling it a joke, saying everyone was too sensitive, and that word, joke, hung in the air like an insult, because nothing about what had just happened was funny, and everyone knew it. Aaron bent down slowly, picking up the crushed remains of his lunch, his hands shaking, and when he stood, he didn't look small anymore, he looked steady, and Maya stood beside him, then Eli, then another student, and another, until it felt like an invisible line had been drawn in the grass, separating cruelty from conscience. Phones that had been recording Tyler now turned away, capturing the aftermath, the quiet fury, the faces of students who had finally had enough, and whispers spread, this wasn't okay, this had gone too far, something had to change. And as the principal's voice echoed across the field, calling for order, the picnic no longer felt like a harmless school event, it felt like the beginning of something bigger, something unstoppable, because the bullies had crossed a line in front of everyone, and the whole school had seen it, felt it, and would not forget it. And as Aaron looked around at the faces filled with anger and resolve, he realized this was only the beginning, because when cruelty is exposed in the open, it doesn't just humiliate the victim, it ignites everyone who ever stayed silent, and the rage building in that field promised consequences far greater than Tyler Kane could imagine.